Highwayman, a story version by Miss Tiffin. A long time ago, in rural England, there lived a bandit known as the Highwayman. Every night, he rode his horse across the lavender moors in search of carriages filled with gold. There, with only the moon as his witness, he waited for the rich to pass by. For months, King George's men tried to capture the infamous thief. Far and wide, they placed posters displaying his picture. Unfortunately, despite the handsome reward, nobody ever came forward. Infuriatingly, he seemed to be one step ahead at every turn. One star-soaked night, a local ostler came riding across the moor. He was a ghastly sight. His face was ashen, his hair was like mouldy hay, and his eyes were hollow. Breathing heavily, he dismounted his horse and scurried over to King George's men. With him, he brought news of the Highwayman. He visited his inn that very day. And, what's more, he was in love with Bess, the landlord's daughter. Like excited children, the redcoat troops listened to the ostler's tale. Wasting no time, they set off for the inn, determined to catch the robber once and for all. The landlord didn't hear them coming. By the time they burst through the old inn doors, it was too late. Like a plague, they swept through the inn, bringing death to every room. Bess was in her chamber when they came for her. Within minutes, she was bound and gagged. The long barrel of a musket pointed at her chest. From her casement, she looked out at the purple moor. Were those horse hooves she could hear in the distance? Yes, the highwayman was approaching. How could she warn him that it was a trap? Desperately, Bess twisted and writhed. Her fingers clawed at the knots, but to no avail. At her side, King George's men sniggered and prepared their guns. Their target was drawing near, and this time they would not miss. It was there, in the darkness, that Bess's finger touched the trigger for the first time. The trigger of the musket pointed at her chest. As the sound of the horse's hooves grew louder, she stood up, straight and still. Then, taking one last deep breath, she pulled the trigger and warned the highwayman with her death. Across the moor, the noise of the gunshot echoed. It shattered the silence and made the trees shake. The sound had come from the inn. Was Bess alive? Had King George's men got to her? Incensed, the highwayman spurred to the west, shrieking a curse to the sky. He was 100 meters from the inn when the redcoat troops shot him down. As he lay on the highway, in his own blood, he thought of Bess. What he wouldn't give to hold her again.